Let's go live. Let's get it. 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 All right. So I got TikTok over here. I wonder why that's like that. Let me do this. Here we go. Let's see if we can get it. All right. That's about the best we're going to do. All right. Let's go. Let's go. All right. All right. All right. All right, all right, all right, all right. Can't pay it too long because if I play it too long, they'll shut my live down. And we don't want them to shut the live down. So if you are on TikTok, hey, Regina, how are you? Good to see you, coach. Who else we got on here? Okay. Hey, look, chocolate. I be trying to do my thing over here, but Instagram don't like it. They used to let me play a little music. Now, if I go too long, they don't shut me down. I'm good, Regina. Good to see you, baby. Good to see you. All right, y'all. So tonight, get your people to tune in. I got something to talk to y'all about. And what's up, Broadway? What's up, my guy? Good to see you, brother. Hey, all right. So tonight I got something good to talk to everybody about. I'm gonna wait a second, just a second, for people to get in, just so we can have an honest grown folk conversation. And so, I've been going live all this week. I didn't go live yesterday because, I had to spend time with my wife. I can't just let work consume me because that's the one area of my relationship I had to work out and be better. I had to work out and be better. And they go Instagram saying you nearing your limit, but I get it. All right, but I've gotten better. So we all have to get better. And so tonight we're going to talk about one of my clients. And one of my clients who thought that she didn't need a coach. A lot of times, y'all, we think that we can figure it out on our own. We think, you know what, I can figure this out. And we keep doing the same things. But it's not netting us the results that we want. And so because it's not netting us the results that we want, I'm going to tell you what happened to her, and I'm going to tell you what I did to change her own situation, because in the end, she is getting married on June 18th. Now, I started coaching her less than a year ago. And so what the real reality is, many of you out there and many people I know, you just looking to be entertained. You just looking to be entertained. What's up, Trill? Oh, it's good to see you, brother. Trill is the man. And so tonight I got all my platforms up. So some of you all, you might see my eyes wandering. So I rigged this up where I got my TikTok, YouTube, I got Instagram, and I got Facebook all tied into one. So you might not see the audience, but I normally have about 300 to 500 people on. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that everybody gets what they're coming for. But tonight is going to be about question and answer. It's not, I'm going to tell you a story and I'm going to explain to you something that I had to realize. Even, y'all, not only am I a coach, but I'm a student too. I am a student and I have two coaches. And see, because don't let me get into it yet. I don't want to get into it yet. But the first thing the first thing we always do is, number one, I want to properly acknowledge you. Properly acknowledge you. If you would, tell me your first name and where you're checking in from so that I can properly acknowledge you, because you could be anywhere in the world on this Friday evening, but you are here with the doctor. You are here with Coach Ken, aka the doctor, aka the professor. And we're going to talk about that. So if you would, give me your first name and where you're checking in from so I can properly acknowledge you as we do. Hattie from Fort Wayne in the building. Good to see you, Hattie. Thank you for rocking with Coach Kid. Who else we got? Because at the end of the day, y'all, okay, hold on. Okay, we got, what's that? Nick from Detroit. Adrian from Houston in the building. Anna from Florida in the building. Shavonda from New Orleans in the building. Michael Broadway, my guy, who helped me stay in shape. Helped me lose this 160 pounds that I lost, from Winston-Salem. What's up, Sky? My student from Dallas, Texas in the building. We got Pete from Jacksonville. Thank you for rocking with me, Pete. We got Jamila from Iowa rocking with me. Roni, where you from, Roni? Thank you, Hattie. I appreciate you as always. Appreciate you as always. Let's don't be shy tonight on this Friday evening, y'all. Tell me where you're checking in from and your first name. Your first name. We got Roni checking in from Jersey in the building. We got Suzette from the DMV area. Lisa from the A in the building. We got Ty from South Carolina. What's that, Lisa? Is that Lisa from New York City? Shannon from Jacksonville, Florida in the building. Who else we got? We got, is that Tamara or is that Tamara from Wisconsin? I don't know. Charge it to my head because just words, y'all. I want to make sure I get your name right. Donna from the UK in the building. Victoria from Louisiana in the building. Christy from Colorado in the building. Rosa Maria from New York in the building. Yes, yes, yes. Appreciate y'all. Joyce from Florida in the building. We got Minneapolis in the building. That's the Queen's Den. Darius from the borough. What's up, baby? Coach Ken, I love your faces. We got Dee Dee from Las Vegas. Y'all, sometimes when I make faces on Carter the Act, I am not playing. I am literally, they got me the first season. I can't hold it sometimes, y'all. Annette from West Palm Beach in the building. Angela from Toronto. Judy from Alabama. We got, what's up, Ben? My guy. Ben from the DMV area. Aggie, right in the building, y'all. He hails from the great University of North Carolina, A&T State University, along with me as well. Tasha from Houston. Judy from Alabama. Somebody said we love the faces. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. So if I don't call your name, forgive me. I got to jump right into the lesson because some people be hitting me. I got all my platforms up and some people be like, all right, enough for the pleasantries. So tonight, I want to bring something to everybody's attention. All right. And so so let me tell you what happened. And I'm so proud. I have this client. I coach men, I coach women, I coach couples. Now I'm even coaching youth, which I used to do a long time ago, because y'all, what I realized is this. What I realized, hey Breezy, no, never mind, podcast, that my man Chuck. Hey, what's up, baby? I don't know if it's Chuck or not, but I appreciate y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. So I realized something, y'all, that I didn't realize a long time ago. And we all grow up. We have a set of ideologies. Have a set of belief systems. We have a set of behaviors that we exhibit based on how we were conditioned. Now, I want you to think about what I'm about to say to you. So, if you came from New York, I'll give you a prime example, y'all. I would remember I was in college and I had a girlfriend in college, a wonderful girl. We're no longer together. I got a more wonderful wife. But in college, I had a girlfriend and she was from Long Island, New York. And I never forget it. She said, hey, let's go to Long Island. So we went to New York City. I remember I went to visit her and we went to New York City. Now, think about it. I was raised in the South. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, went to the city of Atlanta, Georgia, went to high school in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. Now, in the South, we speak to people by saying, what's up? Like, what's up? So I remember when I went to New York, it was my junior year in college at North Carolina A&T State University, the one and only. And y'all, I went up there, so we were in the city, and I was in awe. It was the first time I had been to New York City. And so this guy was coming down the side. All I remember, I just wanted to get some Fila sneakers, y'all, because that was the hottest thing there. Just want some Fila sneakers. And I'll never forget that I walked by this guy. He was looking at me. And so as he was looking at me, I was looking at him, but I was smiling. Now, I didn't realize, now notice what I said, I was raised in the South. We have a set of ideology, and back then it's not like it is now. And so I said to him, what's up, bro? I don't even know if I said, what's up? And I was smiling. I was simply acknowledging him, and I was speaking to him. He stopped in his tracks, and he looked at me and said, what's up then? And I realized at that moment that he viewed my speaking to him as me confronting him or challenging him. And then at the moment that I realized that our interpretation of what I was saying, I realized it, and I said, oh, bruh, I'm sorry. I was simply speaking to you. And he walked, and he mean mugging me, and he walking to me like this. And I'm thinking, and so at this point, my ex-girlfriend explained to me how people in New York grow up and how their ideology and their belief system was different than mine. And that was the first time that I realized our belief systems govern our belief systems, how we've been conditioned, govern our behavior. Now, I wasn't a coach back then. But it didn't take me long to realize that he grew up in an environment that was different than mine. He grew up in an environment where the meaning to things were different than mine. Why do I say that? I say that because, and think about this, if nobody was there to explain to me, coach me through the process of this is how you communicate up here versus communicating down there in the South, I would have or could have encountered something much worse than that. Now, what I'm trying to say today, what I'm going to tell you is I have a client. And I have a client who is close to 48. No, she might be 50. She might be 50, 50 years old. And this client had been married. And I want you to think about it. The client had been married many years. And she was trying to get back into the dating scene. And she had been operating with the belief system of a person who was married. And so she said to me, she came out and said to me, you know what, like many people on the internet say things like this, the dating pool is full of urine, or there are no good men out there. And men say there are no good women out there. And she had a set of beliefs about dating and about relationships because she had a mindset that came from marriage. And then when she got to me, she said, Coach, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I believe. I don't know anything. And so, because she said that, and many of you, like this person said, there's not. You believe because your experience has been not a good one. You make the general assumption that there is nothing out there that is good because the only thing I've encountered is bad. Ooh, I'm gonna get deep tonight. And your your brain, all right, your brain has been conditioned to believe something. And what I mean is you've been conditioned to believe, meaning you have been programmed to believe that there is nothing good out there. So the first thing you have to do if you ever going to achieve anything is you got to change the belief system. And so I'm going to explain to y'all tonight why everyone needs a coach. So the name of my topic or my sermon tonight is Everybody Needs a Coach. And so I want to explain to you what I told her, and then I'm going to get into what I got to say. I said, first of all, the things that you are doing are not in alignment with what you want. See, a lot of us want to be rich. You want to be rich, but you're spending money all the time. You don't save anything. You're not doing any. And see, what happens is your goal is incongruent with your habits, with the things that you do. The things that you do are incongruent with the thing that you want. And so what I explained to her, you say that you want a great relationship, right? But the truth is you have never gotten in touch with who you are. You've never reflected on the things that you need to do. And a lot of people will say, I want a person that's consistent. Like that's a lot of things that I hear from women. And I say to them, I say, okay, you want a person that's consistent, all right? I said, are you consistent when it comes to conflict resolution? Are you consistent in the way that you talk in a respectful manner? Are you consistent in your partnership in approaching everything you approach? And see, what happens is they don't look at consistency like that. What they do is they look at consistency like, is he calling me all the time? Is he showing up? Is he calling me before I go to sleep? Is he calling me when I get up in the morning? And so now I explained to her that Jenny said, nobody needs a coach. Well, Jenny, I would say to you, you have lost your damn mind. Because here's the thing. I will tell you everything I have achieved in my life, everything I've achieved came because I had a good coach. I had somebody. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player in the galaxy. We can argue about Kobe, LeBron. We can argue about that. But most people don't argue that Michael Jordan is the greatest, right? And Michael Jordan's greatness. Michael Jordan's great. I said what I said to Jenny Bow. And look, so Michael Jordan's greatness would have never been realized had he not met Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson was the coach that brought out the triangle offense. Phil Jackson was the coach that showed Michael Jordan how to use all the God-given talents that he had. Phil Jackson was the one who helped Michael Jordan win championship after championship after championship. It was the coach that brought out everything else. And you have people like Jenny on TikTok who says nobody needs a coach. Now, let me tell you something. There are a lot of people out there who listen to Jenny. And that is why they will never achieve the thing that they want. Number one, because here's the thing. Most of you don't know what you don't know. And listen to what I just said. You don't know what you don't know. And I told somebody this the other day. If you knew If you know what you, Jenny says, oh, don't cry. Jenny, I'm not crying. I've had a coach. I'm super successful. You're on my life. And y'all, I normally don't get distracted by people like Jenny, but I'm done talking to her. I'm done talking to her. I'm done. But anyway, so let me explain this. What happens is this. You don't know what you don't know. You see, most of us think that we know. The problem is what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So I explained to my client, I said, there are things that you are unaware of. And I said, the things that you're unaware of, those are the things that are preventing you from having what you want, from getting the relationship you want. And so she said, I'm willing, unlike Jenny, y'all. She says, I am willing to change what I believe. I am willing to look at something different. And so, y'all, I'm not talking to Jenny no more. Y'all, thank y'all for staying. Well, I'm not talking to you because some of y'all need this, so I can't waste my time. This is a good point. How many of you are wasting your time listening to people who, number one, don't have your best interests at heart, and number two, they don't know what the hell they're talking about? And see, most people who want to give you advice, they give you advice based on not having the thing that you say you want. It is amazing to me how you listen to it. It's almost like people who want to be rich, but you listen to poor people. It's almost like people who want to be in a relationship or want to be in a good relationship, but you listen to people who aren't in any relationship or people who are in a bad relationship. So what I suggest you do, y'all, is begin doing, and that's why I wanted to do this tonight. That's why I decided, and I'm glad Jenny came up because this, what she just proved to me and to many of you, is that there are enough naysayers. She's one person out of the couple of hundred people on here. She's one person, but you notice how that one person garnered my attention. And even Coach Ken realizes that that is ridiculous. And so what I have to do is release Jenny to go do what Jenny does. Let Jenny live the life that she wants to live. All right. Now, you ever notice how people who want to infect you with their belief system? Now, Jenny doesn't have to be on my live. She wants to infect all of you on TikTok listening to this. So here's what I say. Here's what I'm going to tell you. This is what you want to know. This client that I had, let me tell you the end of the story, and then I'm going to give you the four reasons why you're needing a coach in whatever you do. It don't have to be me. But why you're going to need somebody to guide you. So she started working with me in less than a year. And number one, the first thing we worked on is her communication, because she did not communicate properly. She communicated in an aggressive manner toward men, and she thought it was just, I'm being straightforward. But when I began to explain to her words, how to use her words to get what how to communicate effectively. When I begin to explain to her the meaning men attach to the way women speak to them, they don't view it as they view it as and so when I begin to explain to her how men view respect as love, when I began to explain that to her, she started to understand that the way she had been communicating was not helping her. And so she said, Coach, here's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I am going to go through this program. I am going to do what you tell me to first, because the one thing I'm going to do is I'm not only going to tell you what to do, but I tell you why to do it. And so she did it. She went through, and I will say this. in less than 12 months, she got engaged and she's going to be married on June 18th. And Coach Ken will be in her wedding. I mean, people, my clients be asking me to be in her wedding, but I might not. I just want to sit on the front row like a proud brother, papa, uncle, all of the above. I just want to sit on the front row and say, I'm just proud. So I ain't got to be in it. But I got 2 clients getting married soon, and they're asking me to be in the wedding. But let me say this. And the one thing I asked her, I said, what was the difference between now and a year ago? Okay. And she said, my willingness to change, my willingness to be accountable, my willingness to open my heart up to a new way to love. And I said, it all starts with you making a decision. And so, y'all, for those of you, I put out I put out my movie series called Decisions Are Never Black and White, and it's going through the roof again this month too. And if you've never seen it, I want you to go watch Decisions Are Never Black and White on Tubi or Prime, preferably Tubi, because it's free. And what she said was, I was willing. And I had given her a quote, and the quote simply said, change you and the world will follow. I'll say it again. Change you and the world will follow, y'all. It has nothing to do with the dating pool is full of urine. Yes, there are bad candidates out there. Sure. A lot of people may think you're a bad candidate. But here's the thing. You're not looking, and what I told her, I showed her after we talked about communication. I showed her how to date. I showed her what dating was. I explained to her how to look at dating as a way of collecting data. I explained to her dating what it was, what it wasn't. I explained to her how to weed out the people who were not in alignment with her core values. I explained to her how to determine what a true red flag is and not the stuff that everybody else thinks is a red flag. Y'all, we say everything is a red flag. Oh, his feet too big, red flag. Oh, snap, he picked his nose, red flag. Oh, she forgot to sweep her kitchen floor, red flag. Y'all, we are ridiculous. You know why we're ridiculous? Because we judge people based on someone else's idea of what perfection is. You ever notice how I see people come to me all day long and said they listen? Somebody said he breathing too hard. It's a red flag. I'm serious, y'all. I am serious. And what happens is we are judging people through the lens of other standards. Oh, let me say it again. We are judging people based through the lens of the other people's standards, influencers, somebody online. And you are judging them based on some set of false beliefs, some set of false standards that someone else created that you don't even know, that don't have your best interest at heart. All they want is clicks. All they want to do is say something profound so you can say, ooh, so you can send emojis like that's good, all of that. And at the end of the day, y'all is bullshit. I said, I done stopped cussing for the most part. Y'all had to say that. It is, y'all. But that's why we getting caught up in stuff that doesn't matter. And so she decided that, Coach, I'm going to change. And she didn't trust it at first. I said, trust the process. She said, I'm going to trust the process, but I don't believe the process at first. I don't believe it will work for me. I said, that's okay. Just do the work. Just do the work. You don't have to worry about the belief. I always tell people, look, listen to what I'm about to say. Everybody listen. Everybody listen to me, please, 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 please. Belief does not come first. Belief comes last. Notice what I said. Belief comes last. See, a lot of times, y'all, We think I gotta believe I'm gonna find the first person in my no. What comes first is doing the work. See, I always tell people when you do the work and act as if, belief comes out as a result of doing the work. When you do the work, like let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. One day I wanted to be on TV. Yeah, I know. I tell my academy members this story. 5 years ago, I wanted to be on TV, but I had no evidence of being on TV, especially at my age. I wanted to be a relationship coach on TV, and I had no. But I just started doing the work. I started acting as if first. Yeah. I was doing the work first. But the first thing that comes before doing the work is you need a guide. You need a guide. And so if you don't know what work to do, you gotta have a coach. You gotta have a guide. So what I did was I found a coach that helped me to start doing content. I said because I realized I started doing research. I said big studio houses, TV production people, the way they're finding people right now is they're finding people via the internet. And so I had a coach and I said, tell me how to make content. Because I was like, because he was like, first you need to you're going to need to go and build your YouTube channel. I ain't want to do that with too much work. And look, I told him all the reasons why it would not work. And he was the kind of coach that said, okay, I can't want this for you more than you want it for yourself. But I thank God for him because he called me back 6 months later. And he said, look, I know you didn't want to build your YouTube channel. You felt like you didn't know how to edit. You had all these limiting beliefs. Like many of you have all of these limiting beliefs. And then he called me back 6 months later. And this is what I do to some people who I'll call them back and say, are you ready now? And when he called me back 6 months later, you know what happened? He said, TikTok. Now listen to me. He said, TikTok. He said, you need to get on TikTok. He said, you don't have to edit. He said, you don't have to do the long form videos. You need to get on TikTok. And I was like, no, that my wife and my grandkids looking at them do stupid dances. And he said, listen, you missed it one time, and he's huge on the internet right now, huge. And I hired him, and I said, and so I just hired him. He said, listen, all we need is one day. I was like, that's all we need. He said, one day. He said, one day for 4 hours, we'll go over everything. I paid him. Here's a story. One day, he said, we'll start with TikTok. I'm gonna show you how to turn your camera on. Basic, y'all. That's why when people say, coach, I used to start my videos off, coach, what should I do about this? When my clients used to ask me. And in 3 weeks, I had 0 followers. I went and started. I had one video that went viral. The video went from 20,000 to 30,000 to 40,000. They kept going. And I went from 0 followers to 1,000, 3,000, 4,000. And I was like, what? He called me and said, do you see a video? And it was easier back then for TikTok to go viral. And before I knew it, I had 1 million views. And I'm like, oh, check this out. That's not the end of the story. 6 months after that, I started getting the hang of it. And then a TV studio called me, unfaithful calling me act, called me and said, hey, we have this TV opportunity to show that's been on 1 season, pilot. We'd like to bring you in to be on season 2. And he said, are you interested? I said, sure. And the rest is history. I've been on 4 seasons. The thing is, y'all, I would not have ever done that had my coach, one of my coaches, said, let me show you how to do this. And was it worth the investment? Are you kidding me? None of you would be here if it wasn't for him. So why do I say this? So I'm going to give you the 4 reasons why you need a coach. 4 reasons why. Number 1, because, and I wrote them down. I said, number 1, because you're going to keep getting what you've always gotten because you keep doing what you've always done. The first reason is you're going to keep getting what you've always gotten because you keep doing what you've always done. You see, y'all, you've heard it. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. You've heard it. At one point in my life, I didn't realize, y'all, for those of you who know my story, I used to weigh 430 some pounds and I used to do the same thing. And it wasn't until I did something different, y'all. Well, for those of you who know, I went on a show called The Biggest Loser, and I exposed my life to the world years ago. And I exposed my life to the world, and I truly believe that saved my life. I saved my life. And I've lost 170 pounds and have kept it off for the most part since then. And I remember I kept saying, what I'm doing is not working. As I was getting bigger and bigger, and my blood pressure was so high, the doctor wanted to put me on blood pressure medicine, blood sugar. This was 18 years ago, y'all, 19 years ago. And that saved my life, and I'm a health nut since then. And so what I tell people is this: you got to understand, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. It's only when you decide. So people, I want you to hear what I'm about to say. People are only motivated for one or two reasons. Write this down. People are only motivated because they want to gain pleasure, number one, or they want to avoid pain, number two. Everything we do in life, everything, we do it because we either want to get pleasure or avoid pain. That's it. The only thing. I wanted to change my life, lose weight, get healthier, because I didn't want to die early. The pain of it, the pain of me thinking about me dying, the pain of me being on, I saw my father-in-law on diabetes medication, get his leg amputated. The pain of that made me say, I cannot. And so here's what I always say. I always say this to people. I say, listen, listen to it, write this down, what I'm about to tell you. I'm dropping gems tonight, y'all. Whenever the pain to stay the same becomes greater than the pain to change, only then will you change. Only then will you change. Notice what I said. Whenever the pain to stay the same is greater than the pain to change, only then will you change. And so some of you haven't experienced enough pain yet. Number two, I wrote this down. Because your friends lie and your enemies don't care. Now, why you need a coach? You said your friends lie to you. Here's why. Your friends will tell you something because they want you to feel better. But they are afraid to tell you many times the truth. See, I told my wife this the other day, and on our podcast, I said something really profound. And I said this. I said, a person, I can't help someone if I'm not willing to hurt them first. Listen to what I just said. I can't help you unless I'm willing to hurt you. And what I mean by that is this. Some of your friends aren't willing to hurt you. They're not willing to tell you the truth. They're not willing for you to get mad at them because they want you to stay in a certain emotional place because they just want you to feel better. So they will tell you things that they think makes you feel better. And then many of them don't have the experience. They don't know what to do. They don't know. So they tell you stuff that they think is right. But they'll tell y'all, you don't need to talk to no coach. You don't need to talk to nobody. Girl, just do this. Just cut him off. Or just do this. Or this put a track on his car. They tell you to do all kinds of things. And they don't know. They don't know. And so what we do is we keep following that advice. We keep following advice of mama. Mama ain't never had a good relationship, but we keep listening to what auntie say. We keep listening to what mama say, and we keep doing what they're doing. And what we've done is we've resigned ourselves that we will never get another result because I can't see how it's going to happen. Yeah. Oh. Mm. And the last thing I'm gonna give you is this: why you need a coach? And then if anybody's interested in me becoming your coach, because I don't take everybody, I can't. I only take people who are ready now. Is this: love does not come with a manual. Love does not. You are not downloaded with a manual on how to love someone else. You learn that along the way. You don't come with a manual of how to treat this particular person. Now, some of you might say, well, I was raised a certain way. Well, you were raised a certain way based on the information that the person who raised you gave you. You were raised on that information. But that information is not enough, because when you get in relationships with people, y'all, you ever notice how two good people don't mean they'll be good together? Two good people do not mean they'll be good together. Do you know why? Because neither one of them came with the manual on how to love the other person, how to meet the needs of the other person. They don't know how to meet your needs. And because you never came with the manual, most people believe that things will just work out because I feel like I feel, because I'm in love. And then when they hit the brick wall, when they realize love will never be enough. Love will never be enough to sustain a relationship. No relationship. And when they realize that, and because they don't have the tools, the knowledge, the strategies to get past it, to work through conflict, you've never been taught on how to resolve conflict. You see that book on my desk right there called Let Them? I just read this recently. It's one of the best books that I've read. We don't know how to let people be who they are because we feel like we have to mold people into who we want them to be. And so until we realize that it don't work like that. So y'all, I'm going to leave you with this, and I'm going to get off. That everybody needs a coach. I have two coaches. I have a business coach and I have a personal development coach. My personal development coach pushes me to be a better version of myself, pushes me to be a better husband, pushes me to be a better father. And my personal development coach, he ain't scared of me. He ain't scared of me. He was like, even though I pay him, he's not scared of me. He's not intimidated by my success. So he's willing to hurt me. He's willing to hurt me to help me. And then I have a business coach. My business is growing super fast. I have a great team. I've got 5 people. There are 5 of us, and we're growing. I got 5 people I'm responsible for their families. And I understand, for me to be a better businessman, I got to learn new stuff, y'all. I got to do it the right way. The way that I used to do things, I cannot do it that way. But I'm willing to learn, and we're growing. And so I'll leave you with this. For those of you who know that you don't know what you don't know, that you're willing to change, that you're willing to be coached, and you're coachable, I want you to reach out to me at CoachKenCanion@gmail.com. CoachKenCanion@gmail.com, and I'll reach back, and we can talk for a couple minutes and see if I'm right for you. Man, woman, or child. It don't matter, or a couple. Reach out to me at CoachKenCanion@gmail.com. And let's talk. And I was going to ask you if anybody had any questions tonight. I'll be glad to answer them. But I got thrown off at the beginning by Jenny. I agree. But I got back on track, y'all. And if anybody has any questions, because I was going to use tonight as a question, comment, concern thing. You know, somebody said, put me in the game. I'll put you in the game. Just email me at coachkencanion@gmail.com. We can do things differently. Y'all, I'm that good. I'm not going to say I'm that good. I am good. I'm very good. But the other part is I'm anointed to do it. What I get my power from him. From him. That's why I don't need people to validate me. I'm good. Y'all. And I tell them every day, I thank you for the power. God, I thank you for the power to be able to touch and transform people's lives. I thank you, Lord. I thank you. There is one and only Jesus Christ. I'm not playing. I don't know what you believe, but I got to be honest about who I believe. Okay. Yes, somebody said can we ask any kind of question? Sure, you can. I'll stay on and you can ask any kind of question. Somebody says, Christine, how often do I go live? I've been going live every day this week. I'm gonna try to go about 2 or 3 times a week at least. And I think I'm gonna start going live earlier too. Like I was gonna do 2 live. Like sometimes I'll go live at like 12 noon or something like that. Y'all let me know what you think about that. Okay. But yes, you can ask me any questions. If anybody has any questions, when is the show coming back? I don't know yet. It's coming back though. Maybe in the fall. You just missed the last season. Hey, if you want the show to come year round, go ahead and reach out to them and say, hey, can we have it come year round? Millichan, write new episodes next season. Yes. Millichan, I got Millichan. Listen, we're gonna work on Millichan doing some stuff. She's like, Millichan is like awesome. The best. We're working on some stuff, y'all. We working. And Millichan gonna be in the mix. Anybody, any questions before I get up? I don't see no questions. Wow. And normally I get questions scrolling all up and down the timeline. But if not, then I'll say thank you. Thank you, Lord. And y'all have a great weekend. I wish y'all the best. Thank you so much. And may God give all of you the desires of your heart. And if you are interested in coaching, reach out to me at coachkencanion@gmail.com. All right. Peace.